What's up, everybody? Kyle here at Let's Talk Wax with the first prospect hot sheet of the 2025 minor league season. And this covers the top performing prospects from the first month and a half. I did get a little hair-lipped with the release of 2025 Bowman, so my first prospect hot sheet is a bit late this year, but I will continue to do these every month to keep you updated on who is performing well at the current moment. I'm going to go through a top 10 for all leagues, AAA all the way down to low A, and I'm also going to do a top 5 from each individual league, AAA all the way down to low A, so you'll get an idea of some of the top performing prospects in each league, along with the top 10 overall, which is what you see here, 6 through 10. Now, I do have two ranking systems, an LTWR, which is my Let's Talk Wax ranking system, which goes from Elite to 7, Elite being the very top rank. Players like Jackson Holliday, Elly De La Cruz have achieved Elite rankings. I don't have any Elite rankies. Very seldom do I have those. 1 would be the next best, with 1.5 being the next best, and it kind of tiers down all the way to 7 with the 0.5s included. So you see Leo DeVries here has a rank of 1.5, which is exceptionally high. AJ Ewing with a rank of 4.5 is probably right around sleeper status. There's more information on those rankings in the video description if you guys want to check those out. I haven't released my first Juggernaut rankings of the season yet, so I don't have any Juggernaut rankings for this video, but I will release those in the next one as I get the updated Juggernaut rankings. Those are stat-based rankings that I do every month as well. But we'll kick this thing off with AJ Ewing. I'm going to go through the 6 through 10, then we'll go through all the top 5s in each league, and then I'll go through the top 5 overall in all of minor league baseball right now. So AJ Ewing, 20.7 New York Mets second base / outfield, has been promoted to high A, started the season in low A, had a home run, 4 triples, 3 doubles, 20 RBI, and 14 stolen bases. He's got the most stolen bases of any player on this list. Now, he's got some rough career numbers. That's why he's ranked at 4.5. But he does have a hit speed combo with above average power. So kind of a sleeper guy here. His cards are out of 2023 draft, and they are $10, but he's definitely off to a hot start to start the 2025 season. At number 9, we've got Braden Montgomery, who is not a sleeper by any regards. He's a pretty renowned player out of the 2024 draft product. 22.1, was traded to the Chicago White Sox. He was also recently promoted to high A after hitting 4 home runs, 4 doubles, and hitting .304 to start the 2025 minor league season. He's still holding good numbers, and he's continued to hold good numbers throughout his career, hitting .311 with a 189 ISO so far. He does have a little bit of an elevated K rate. You can see the numbers that are in red are really good, the numbers in blue are really bad, and the numbers that are bolded are the worst or best on the list. So 23.6, definitely not anything to get too upset about as far as the K numbers go, but I do like to see them under the 20% mark. He's a number 50 in MLB.com's top 100. He's a rank of 2.5 on the Let's Talk Wax ranking scale. Mike Serrata, 21.9 with the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's an outfielder. He was traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he's off to a hot start. 4 home runs, 2 triples, 8 doubles, and 15 RBIs, hitting .364 to start the season. He's got speed power combo, and he's kind of showing off a little bit of more of a hit tool right now, so he could be a 3-way guy, the speed, power, and contact, which always play well in minor league baseball in the prospecting community. Sometimes we have guys who hit for power and no average. Sometimes we have guys that hit for average and no power. But the guys that hit for average, power, and can run, they are pretty special. So if he can continue to do this all the way up into the upper minors, he's a little old for low A, so I'm not getting super excited right now. But if he gets promotion to high A, double A maybe this year, and starts to perform well for his age, that would be something to get excited about. At number 7, we got Leo DeVries, 308 batting average in high A at 18.6, 4 homers, 3 triples, 5 doubles, 19 RBIs. Leo DeVries is no secret right now, and it's kind of starting to look like he has arrived, and he's not a question mark anymore like a lot of young international prospects kind of become right at release of the Chrome products or the Bowman products. They tend to kind of be up in the air, but it doesn't look like Leo DeVries is going to be a miss. He's number 16 in MLB.com's top 100. He's a Let's Talk Wax ranking of 1.5, the highest on this list. His cards are out of 2023 Bowman Chrome and selling for about $175 right now. At number 6, we've got Esmeralyn Valdez out of 2024 Bowman. His cards are super cheap. He's a little bit old for the level, but he's got some big power. He hit 6 home runs and 5 doubles over the course of the start of the minor league season. 21.2 playing in high A. Doesn't have a lot of defensive upside, first base, left field, right field, corner outfield guy. And there is definitely some contact risk with a 28.4% K rate. So you're betting on the power here, and you're betting on him getting to that power in the upper minors, AA, AAA. I consider that the upper minors. So he's Let's Talk Wax rank of 4 because he has not done that yet. He's already shown some contact risk, but definitely got to check out with a cheap auto right around $5. Now, if you guys enjoy this content, be sure to check out my Patreon page. You get early access to all of my video information, including Prospect Hot Sheet. You get first Chrome and first autograph checklist breakdowns for every release since 2020 to the present, including the brand new 2025 Bowman release. I've got team break guides for all releases all the way back to 2020 as well, including the 2025 team break guide for 2025 Bowman. My Juggernaut prospect ranking should be coming out within the next couple of weeks, and that ranks all minor league players based on a few of my cherry-picked stats. You get access to my top 150 Bowman Chrome autos under $50 list that I updated about a month ago before the season started. You also get access to my private Discord server with daily prospect news, promotion, call-up info, hobby discussion, grading help, buy, sell, trade, and personal advertising. It's got 400 plus active members, and my man Bobby does a great job moderating over there, keeping everyone up to date. Like I said, if you want to help support the channel, you can check out my Patreon page. I'll put a link to it in the video description. All right, we're going to get to the top 5 with each league now, and then we'll get to our top 5 overall at the end of this. We've got Moises Ballesteros. I'm not going to do a whole lot because we've got a ton of prospects to cover. But Moises Ballesteros plus hit tool could definitely stick behind the plate, and I think his ceiling is going to depend on how much power he gets to out of 2023 Bowman for $45. 2023 Bowman, probably one of the best releases you can buy to rip right now. Lots of big names coming out of that. Roman Anthony, 5-tool guy for sure, number 1 ranked position player in minor league baseball, not just the Red Sox organization, but in minor league baseball. And I think his ceiling could be a perennial all-star. His cards are around $250, and they're also out of 2023 Bowman. Kobe Mayo struggled in his pro debut last year over a small sample size, but he's back to raking in AAA, $125 auto out of 2021 Bowman. Probably one of the only cards out of that release. That was one of the weaker releases in recent history, 2021 Bowman for sure. We've got Nick Kurtz, who was promoted to the major leagues last week out of 2024 draft. He's got a $125 auto. He's an impact bat, but a limited defensive ceiling, but I definitely think his offensive skill set will play at first base. So not a lot to worry about there besides the organization he's in, which is the Athletics, and sometimes those cards do not command a very high value. We've got Marcelo Mayer. He's having a good start to the 2025 season. Exceptional defense and offense. Number 3 prospect in Boston Red Sox organization. He's out of 2021 draft, and his cards are pretty expensive as well at $175. So lots of expensive cards coming out of AAA. On the ice cold, we've got Bryce Matthews, 35 strikeouts to start the season. Did hit 3 home runs, but he's striking out at an alarming rate right now. He had a solid year in 2024, hit 265 with 15 homers and 32 stolen bases, but he does have some swing and miss risk, which is why I was kind of hesitant with him last year. I feel like he's going to be a guy that kind of roller coasters. When he gets hot, he's going to be really good. When he gets cold, he's going to be really bad. Let's jump into the AA Eastern League, leading off with CJ Capus. I've always liked an offensive sleeper. I've liked him as an offensive sleeper since the release of 2023 draft, but he's kind of limited defensively. I don't really know where he's going to fit in defensively. He was promoted to AAA on April 28th, and he's having a hot start to the season. Yohendrick Panengo kind of came out of nowhere. He's a guy who is not ranked very high based on his career numbers. He's got bad career numbers. He was dreadful in 2024 over a large sample size. Sometimes if guys are bad over a small sample size, I don't get too worried, but when they're really bad over a large sample size, that's when some of the red flags here appear. I think he's kind of a hot streak guy, and you're going to see a lot of these guys in my hot sheets that are just really hot to start over the course of a small amount of time, and they'll cool off. But you never know. He could have figured something out. He could have been injured last year. We don't really know a lot of the specifics. But like I said, using my spidey sense and my prospecting years of doing this, it looks like a hot streak for Yohendrick Pinango. Jorge Burgos. There's some power here, but it comes with contact risk and low defensive upside. These are guys that kind of scare me, guys that swing and miss, don't have defensive upside, don't run well, but they do have power. I kind of call them the slugger prototype. Spencer Jones brings plenty of speed and power to the table, but his Ks may derail his career. His cards are still super expensive because he's a Yankee. 2023 Bowman, another guy out of 2023 Bowman. A very hot release, as I mentioned before, but I would like Spencer Jones a lot more if there weren't so much risk, but I'm sure he could get a chance to play professional or play at the MLB level sometime in 2025. Mikey Romero is coming off a big 2024 season that kind of boosted his stock. He hit 271 with 16 home runs. His cards are extremely short printed and very difficult to get your hands on. They're out of 2022 draft and they're around $100 right now, and they're very difficult to find on eBay, kind of like Dalton Rushing cards of some bigger bats with seriously SP'd cards. Cooper Engel has an excellent hit tool and athleticism. He's a sleeper that I liked last year and coming into this year as well, but he's struggling a little bit early in the season. But he hasn't been striking out. He just hasn't been making very good contact. Kicking off the Double-A Southern League is Hector Rodriguez. He has hit for power and average across his minor league career, but he doesn't take walks, and those are always things that kind of scare me too about when players get to the upper minors, even the major league level, and they don't walk. It could be sometimes because of an exceptional hit tool or sometimes a bad approach. So we don't really know how that pans out until they get to the major league level. You'll notice a guy like Jacob Wilson that plays for the Athletics doesn't walk a lot because he makes a ton of contact. The ball's thrown in the strike zone, he's going to hit it in fair play. So I'm not sure if Rodriguez is one of those type of guys or he just has a kind of immature approach. Those are always things to consider with the low walk rate. Ethan O'Donnell, he's got some swing and miss tendencies, but played well in high A last year. Could be a bit of a sleeper, had 2 home runs, 2 triples, and 4 doubles. He's a $5 auto out of 2023 draft. Kemp Alderman coming off a solid performance in the Arizona Fall League, but not much power showed up in 2024. That's what I was hoping to get out of Alderman, being a corner outfielder prospect, 22.7 still in Double-A, but swinging the bat pretty well right now. 4 home runs already on the season, so some of that power starting to show up that did not show up in 2024. Sal Stewart, a guy I've liked since the release of 2022 draft. His cards, I think, were really cheap the first year and a half, and then he started to hit. He kind of rose up the prospect ladder in the top 100 and in the red system. He's got an excellent hit tool and approach, and I think the power here is going to determine his ceiling. He's going to play some second base. He's getting better at defense. Just a very high floor prospect. Not a lot of risk here, but his cards have climbed up to $45. So I'm not sure how much I like Sal Stewart at that price. I really liked him when he was doing the same things at about $15 when nobody was really paying attention to him. But like I said, he's gone mainstream now, so his prices are definitely going to jump. We've got William Bergolla, 2022 Chrome, a $15 auto, exceptional contact skills, but absolutely no power whatsoever. He's one of the youngest players in Double-A right now, so that's very exciting. Braden Taylor, a guy who I thought might take off in 2025, but it depended on how much contact he made because he is a contact risk type player. Career high K percentages, but he hit 20 home runs and had 29 stolen bases in 2024. So he's off to a cold start. Another guy kind of like Bryce Matthews, those guys that have career high K percentages, they are going to be really good when they're good, and they're probably going to be really bad when they are bad. So Brandon Taylor going through that right now. In the Texas League, we've got Junior Perez. He is in Double-A, almost to the 24-year age limit. Perez has an above-average speed and power combo, but his K data is not good. 4 home runs, though, and 5 doubles. Gavin Conicello, liked as a sleeper for years, but I'm not sure if he's going to be an impact major leaguer. He seems like another guy, kind of a higher floor than ceiling, but his cards are super cheap. Still not a whole lot of accolades and recognition within the hobby for Gavin Conicello, who's performed pretty well throughout his career. Jose Fernandez hits for average, but has yet to run into any power at all in pro ball. And as we all know, for the most part, power kind of is one of the top tier traits in the hobby: power, then hit, then speed, and then defense, kind of in that order, is what prospectors like to chase, and they're going to get that with a guy like Jack Caglione, who's one of the biggest power ceilings in minor league baseball and a hot start in Double-A so far, who holds pretty solid K numbers and has the ability to hit for average. He's kind of like a Nick Kurtz with a higher power ceiling, but a guy that's going to hit. I think Kurtz would hit for more average. I think the hit tool with Kurtz is a little bit better, but the power ceiling with Caglione is a little bit higher as well. So definitely a guy that's going to be an expensive auto. $275 out of 2024 draft. He's not a sleeper by any means. Romeo Sanabria. Average overpower bat with limited defensive upside, but out of the 2024 Chrome release, he was one of the sleepers that I had on release. His cards are super cheap at $10. Carter Jensen out of 2021 draft. He's a left-handed hitting catcher, and that will get you very far in professional baseball as it is. But when you have juice and hit from the left side, that's even better. But he does have some hit contact risk, so 31 strikeouts to start the season. Not a good start for Carter Jensen, but like I said, left-handed hitting catcher with some power. Those guys usually move up pretty fast if they perform. In the High A South Atlantic League, we got Jacob Reimer. 2024 season was pretty much a wash due to injury, but he's got some good contact skills and growing power. 5 home runs to start the season. 2023 Chrome $15 auto. We've got George Lombard, who struggled in 2024, but he was young for the level. He's got a high speed defense ceiling, and he was promoted to Double-A, putting him in Double-A before the age of 20, which is very rare for most prospects. And usually organizations have a reason for accelerating prospects through their system at a young age. So George Lombard could have a breakout year. His cards are going to be expensive because he's a Yankee, and there was a lot of hype behind him on that 2024 Bowman release. So $70 card right now. Joral Perez has a super SSP auto. I think he only has like yellow autos and lower, so they're very hard to find. He has some thump, but the K numbers are rough so far in High A. Javier Rivas, 220-ish hitter since 2023, but he's growing into more power. Another guy with some bad career K numbers, but he did hit 7 home runs, along with Perez's 9 home runs to start the season. So they're off to a power binge, the both of them. Jay Savina was traded to the Yankees. He's got some hit tool risk with rough career K numbers, but he does have above average power, and that usually plays with the power usually comes at the cost of higher Ks. And like I said, the guys that hit for power and don't strike out a lot, those are kind of the unicorns you're looking for in the prospecting community because they're very low risk. Jesus Baez struggling. He was solid between low A and high A last season, but he struggled since his promotion to high A in 2025. 18 strikeouts to start the season. High A Midwest League, we've got Christian Knapczyk, old for the level in hobby, average numbers in low A last year. Still a small sample from 2023 draft though. 23.3 still playing in High A. Have to give him some more time to gather data, but he's a cheap auto at $5. Billy Amick, I did have someone make fun of me during my 2024 draft video about Billy Amick being on the top 25. But I'm going to hold my guns here and say I still like Billy Amick out of Tennessee. Kays could use some improvement in High A, but he's off to a hot start. Doesn't have a high defensive ceiling, but he does have some bat. So we'll see what happens with Billy Amick. Alfonso Rosario, he's traded to Cleveland, has some big juice and above average speed. He's definitely power over hit with risky contact numbers, has 5 home runs to start the season, a $30 auto out of 2024 Bowman. Josue De Paula, hard contact and excellent K data. 2 things that you like out of young prospects. He's the number 2 prospect in the Dodgers organization. His cards have pretty much sat around $80 to $100 since release because there has been a lot of hype around him as well. He's very well known in the hobby. I think it's just a matter of what he can do in the upper minors. 19.9 should see Double-A in 2025. Kyle DeBarge, fresh out of the 2025 Bowman release. I'm sure his cards are going to be expensive in the next couple of days with the release just happening, but they'll trickle down. So I didn't put a comp up there because, like I said, the prices are going to settle significantly over the next month. He's had a hot start in High A. First round pick in 2024 and will be released. Like I said, he's coming in the release that happened yesterday because I'm recording this on the 8th. 4 homers, 2 triples, 5 doubles, and 25 ribbies. Austin Charles. I try to find guys that are popular to put on the ice cold list, and I think Austin Charles is losing some steam. I think he's losing some confidence among collectors. He gave us hope in 2024 after a solid season, but he's struggling since entering High A. 27 strikeouts to start the season. Might start to lose my voice a little bit. The first hot sheet of the year always gives my throat a run for its money. Ryan Waldschmidt, liked him as a sleeper in 2024 draft. He's got a plus contact tool and showing more power in 2025. I still think $15 is pretty cheap for Ryan Waldschmidt cards right now. Adrian Placencia, he is a roller coaster for me. He's on a hot streak, but his career numbers lead me to believe he will cool off very soon. Arjun Nimala, he's got a risky hit tool, will lead him to big highs and lows, kind of like the guys I talked about before. When they're hot, they're hot. When they're not, they are not. He still has a very high power ceiling, and he plays shortstop, making him very valuable in the prospecting community. His cards are still pretty expensive at $75. Jared Thomas has a high floor hit tool with a power dependent ceiling. He's a guy that I really like as a sleeper. His cards are starting to jump up a little bit though from the 2024 draft release. Christopher Torin, contact and speed is his game. Power will most likely won't be a factor here, but his cards are super cheap, $5 out of 2023 Chrome. Randy DeJesus has above average offensive ceiling with red flags in the contact department, a guy who can hit, but when he doesn't make a lot of contact, it's not going to be good in AA. So a guy to a high risk guy, but does make some hard contact when he barrels it up. On to low A, where Adam Suzuki is not a sleeper anymore. Contact skills look good with above average power. It looks like he's needing a promotion. His cards are starting to jump up with his performance. Antonio Anderson is repeating low A. He had a $196 with a sub 100 ISO last year at 482 plate appearances. Jesus Made, his cards are sitting right around $300 post-release day out of 2025 Bowman. Switch hitting shortstop with a very high offensive ceiling and athleticism. He dominated the DSL last year, and he's looking actually like probably the top prospect out of that release right now in 2025 Bowman. We got Caleb Bonham making his pro debut this season. He was a second-round draft pick in 2024 and off to a very hot start for the White Sox. Braylon Tavera, I had him in a sleeper video once, but this is probably just a hot streak. He only has 2 home runs in the 2024 season. He's been pretty bad overall since I made the video, which usually happens when I make a sleeper video about someone. They perform poorly for the next 2 years. So maybe just ignore my sleeper videos. George Wolko, I've never really liked this guy. A lot of people were dumping money into Wolko because of the power ceiling, but he's got huge red flag K data. Dude just punches out way too much. So definitely not a guy that I like, and he's ice cold right now. Again, big surprise. In the Florida State League, where it's very fun to hit early in the year, we've got Carlos Sanchez. It's looking like a hot streak here for this guy. He's only got a first Chrome. No autos, and you can probably buy these for $0.25. He hasn't held good numbers outside the complex league throughout his career. He's got high K numbers, so not a lot going on there. 2 guys out of 2025 Bowman, Aaron Escobar and Sammy Stafura. Escobar struggled for 2 years in the DSL, and he hit 338 2024 in the complex league. He's off to a hot start this year. Limited power, but it could look like the hit tool is starting to get some promise. And he's got 5 home runs, so maybe the power is developing too there with him. Stafura, there is a promise for a speed power tool here. He was solid in 2024, but he does have some elevated K data. Connor Griffin, probably going to be one of the top prospects in the next 2 years in minor league baseball. He's got huge upside, matched with lots of tools, speed, hit, power, defense. He's really got it all. He should see high A in 2025, and like I said, I think at $150, there's still some room there for Connor Griffin. A special kid, 19.1, still very young, and already got 5 home runs and 5 doubles on the season. So definitely a guy that I really like, and like I said, I think he's going to be a top tier prospect within the next year or two. Eduardo Tait was a guy that I liked out of 2024 Chrome, and he is a lefty swinging catcher. Surprise, surprise, why I like him with big offensive upside. He doesn't walk and has elevated swinging strike percentages, so his approach probably needs a little bit of a fine-tuning, but performing well in low A so far with 6 jacks and 6 doubles. Yasser Mercedes is a guy that I get a lot of questions about. You know, is he ever going to hit? Is he ever going to hit ever since his big performance in the DSL? And he's one of the guys that I kind of use as an example of why I don't depend on DSL stats anymore because they are just too unreliable. He dominated the DSL, and he has not really done a whole lot since. He's been kind of a roller coaster with high highs and low lows, but most of them have been lows. So I'm starting to lose a little bit of faith in Yasser Mercedes. Rounding up our honorable mentions is Slade Caldwell, a first rounder out of 2024 out of high school. He's got a plus hit speed tool with a power dependent ceiling. You're going to notice that a lot by hot sheets, that the power they develop over the next few years is going to depend on their price tag. Rowdy Rodriguez struggled in the complex league last year, but he's off to a hot start, but almost 22 in low A, which is absolutely no good. Feldon Celestine out of 2023 Chrome, a $75 auto. If he stays healthy, he could really have a breakout year. He's got lots of plus tools, big physicality. Could be one of those, 5-tool type players. So I'm glad to see, hopefully, like I said, he can stay healthy and have a big year for the Seattle Mariners. Eduardo Quintero, excellent contact tool and in-game speed. Another guy with a power-dependent ceiling. I think his value is just going to depend on how much power he gets to outside of high A and double A, or sorry, inside high A and double A. Jorge Ruiz, I'm starting to lose it here. Solid career, but has slipped in 2024. He's got a hit speed tool with limited power. And Miles Naylor, a power hitting shortstop, but he's got detrimental K issues with the Athletics. 48 strikeouts and 5 home runs to start the season. All right, with all that out of the way, that's going to bring us to our top 5 performers over the start of the minor league season in 2025. This is of all of the leagues. The whole kit and caboodle, the best 5 right now. Gino Groover, my favorite sleeper out of 2024. Bowman, his cards have jumped up to $15. He was a $5 auto at one point. He's improving defense and offense, hitting .325 on the season with 6 home runs. So a good start for Gino Groover. He is a bit old, 23.1, but like I said, his cards were at one point $5, and if you were purchasing gold autos, you could probably see some bigger dividends and some bigger price differences with the lower numbered stuff. Max Anderson, kind of a surprise, and you're always going to get some surprises on hot sheets. 23.1 Detroit Tigers. Second baseman in Double A. Hit .266 with 11 home runs in 2024. He's off to a hot start, but I don't see him being an impact player at the major league level. But he is off to a hot start, as I mentioned before, hitting .349 with 5 home runs. Doesn't walk much. He's got the lowest walk rate on this list, but he does have a solid K percentage at 14.6. At number 3, we've got Cooper Kinney out of 2021 Bowman Draft. I did buy some Cooper Kinney cards this offseason, and I sold all of them in the last week because I think some people started to pick up that he is a pretty solid player, and he was very cheap, but 22.1 playing in Double A, second baseman with the Tampa Bay Rays. I liked Kinney, like I said, last year as a possible breakout in 2025. He's got solid tools and power, so I'm not sure if I should have held a little bit longer, but like I said, I bought into Cooper Kinney extremely cheap because I did like him towards the end of the season last year. His stuff was just dirt cheap on eBay. So a guy to watch. He's only Let's Talk Wax rank of 3, but I think he could have a pretty good year in 2025, and we'll see where his prices go if that does happen. Lazaro Montes, we've got one of the highest ceiling bats in the lower minors, between like low A and high A here. 20.5 Seattle Mariners outfielder. He's got 7 home runs to start the season, 4 triples, 5 doubles, hit .288 with 21 jacks last year. So he's got, just like I said, a super high offensive ceiling, number 2 prospect in the Seattle Mariners organization, number 38 in MLB.com's top 100, has an 18.8% walk rate right now, which is phenomenal for a guy with 7 home runs. So he's definitely seeing the ball well, and we'll have to see what happens with Montez throughout the course of the year. We can probably see him in Double A by the end of 2025 for sure. Number 1 by a long shot is Jordan Lawler. I think a lot of people thought that he was kind of going to get lost in transition, being a 2021 draftee, having some ups and downs with his career, but he is off to an amazing start in AAA. He missed a lot of the 2024 season with injury, so I'm glad he's healthy, and I'm glad he's back to kind of the hype that he had generated on release. He's the number 10 prospect in MLB.com's top 100. He's hitting .381, the highest batting average on this list, with 6 home runs and 12 stolen bases. He did have a big sample size because he started the season in AAA, and they start the season about 10 days earlier than everybody else, so he's got a larger sample size than most players here. His cards are back up to the $100 range out of 2021 draft. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 2, and he probably should see a promotion here shortly within the next few weeks, I'm thinking, but never know what's going to happen, but he's raking right now for sure. That's going to wrap up this first hot sheet of the year. As I mentioned before, if you guys want to check out my Patreon page, be sure to check that out. Lots of cool exclusive stuff over there that no one else gets to see. It's only about $5 a month to sign up. You can find the link in the video description. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to subscribe and like so you don't miss my future videos. I want to give a quick shout out to all my Patreon level 3 subscribers. You guys rock, and I hope y'all have a great day. And if you're ripping 2025 Bowman, good luck, and be sure to post your hits on the Facebook page at Let's Talk Wax. Y'all have a great day.